So today I'm gonna talk about why American structures in general are so crappy. I have lived in American apartments and houses for almost 10 years. And uh, originally, I have been living in China, where they build apartments, even individual standalone houses and villas with concrete and rebars and steel. That's the materials they use. Basically, I don't know the terms, but they use concrete and they insert rebars to reinforce the concrete, and that makes the structure extremely sturdy. And my concern is that none of these apartments, you see, I have been living in, have any soundproofing at all. I have a neighbor above me and a neighbor below me. I can hear the neighbor below me having normal conversations. And if they whisper, I can still hear if I put my head onto the floor. I can still hear it. And when they argue, that's absolutely obvious. I don't even need uh, to do anything, and I can hear exactly every single word that they're talking about. And the neighbor above me is a lot worse than the neighbor below me because the current tenant has extremely heavy steps. So when he walks around, it would be like somebody playing a drum without their permission. And basically, it makes this boom, boom, boom noise constantly. It just completely destroys your sanity. So this is the problem. Like, what? And I thought maybe this is just because of this apartment. That's absolutely not true. Nearly every single apartment built in the U.S. are as crappy as the one I'm currently living in. The floorboard is probably paper thin. The wall is paper thin. I can hear my neighbor. I can pinpoint the exact location of my neighbors when he or she is walking right above me. And the sound, especially when you're asleep, will wake you up, drive you nuts, and makes you extremely angry and regretful of why you are paying $1,000 a month on this crappy property. And the apartment I lived before is built in the 70s. And that one is even worse, where when my neighbors were walking on top of me, the floorboard would squeak because it's it, 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 it's so old, you know. So the floorboard squeaks extremely loudly all the time, 24/7. You just cannot fall asleep in that kind of environment. I thought newer apartment would be a solution. Absolutely not. Nothing has become better. Only it has gone worse. This apartment I'm living in is built in 2016. I was the first tenant, and the noise issue is absolutely appalling. So why do Americans build apartments and houses with such a crappy material, with paper, with literally paper? And they're trying to sell these apartments that are built with the crappiest material for hundreds of thousands of dollars. And you have to pay annual property tax if you own your own property. And you have to pay non-stop rent. And your landlord can screw you in the rear end anytime if they want to. And you are probably not gonna get your deposit back. And you're probably paying about $200 to $300 a month on utilities, everything added up, and renter's insurance. So why are Americans building such crappy, garbage, flimsy paper boxes? I really don't know. I do know that, you know, Americans, they don't care because they probably this is everything they have been exposed to. They don't know what a good apartment is like. They've probably, most of them never lived in a reinforced concrete complex. So this is just a huge issue, you know. This is one of the reasons that I'm so tired living in this shithole country, because the apartment is absolutely disgusting. You are paying $12,000 a year to get your butt screwed in the rear end. You're paying $12,000 plus renter's insurance plus utilities every single month to endure some random low quality people's extremely heavy noise generated by them walking inconsiderably. The problem is I cannot blame on them. They're just walking heavily. What is really to blame is not tenants walking. It's that apartments are built with the shittiest, with the crappiest materials. This is the real problem in the US. This is why, I would be much happier moving to a poor country. For example, some South American countries, maybe some Southeast Asian countries, I would be fine. You know why? Because they actually build apartments out of proper materials. Europeans build apartments out of proper materials. Germans, British, they all build apartments out of bricks. Bricks. Only Americans build these apartments out of the crappiest garbage paper cardboards. It's unimaginable and disgusting how people are not complaining and putting up with this kind of absolute scam and are somehow pretty happy living in these crappy card boxes. So I don't know. This makes me extremely angry, and I swear to God, I will never rent a single apartment for the rest of my life in this crappy country and endure low quality people's disgusting noise generations and the worst apartment ever built on planet Earth.